Christina Holly, and I'm here to introduce you to the Universal Card Game, or just UCG for short. The UCG is a competitive card game, which means you have access to all the cards and they will never be limited by scarcity or price. In this video, I will go over the competitive card game format in detail. Players compete against each other in exciting one-on-one card battles. Win games of the UCG by reducing the size of your opponent's deck to 0. You can compose a deck with the following awesome card types. Resources, used to generate Terra to pay for cards in your deck. Characters, form armies of these to attack and defend against other players. Effects, special ability cards that can alter the outcome of the game. Architects, mysterious allies that alter the flow of turns. They also grant or reduce card drawing advantages. Each player needs their own deck of 60 cards to play. It helps to split between the 3 main card types: resources, characters, and effects. Architect cards are powerful, but you can only have one in play at a time. Alongside your deck, you can have a 20-card sideboard. Swap them with other cards from your main deck between matches. Token characters also reside in the sideboard. They represent characters that are made by another card's abilities. To make playing the UCG easier, you should try to have some of the following. Beads or counters to help keep track of abilities. A small pack of dice to help with card values. And the UCG playmat. This mat shows where all the cards go in the game and is super helpful. The stability system is what makes the UCG stand out. It gives the cards built-in balance based on their abilities and power. The more powerful the card, the less copies of it you can play in a deck. You can play decks with lots of simple cards, or make a deck with limited copies of powerful cards. Cards are limited in both your sideboard and deck by their stability. All cards in the game have their stability listed in their serial number. Stable cards are limited to 4 cards of the same name per deck. They have the letters S, T, B in their serial number. Unstable cards are limited to 3 cards of the same name per deck. They have the letters U and S in their serial number. Rare cards are limited to 2 cards of the same name per deck. They have the letters R, A, R in their serial number. Covert cards are limited to 1 card of the same name per deck. They have the letters C, O, V in their serial number. Unlimited cards are exactly that. You can have as many as you need in your deck. They have the letters U and L in their serial number. Token characters have the stability of token. They have the letters T, O, K in their serial number. Token cards are limited to 20 copies in the sideboard. Remember to have only 60 cards at all times in your main deck. Now let's go over how a game of the UCG works. To start, you shuffle your deck and then draw 8 cards. Each player is allowed 1 mulligan, which is basically a new hand each game. If you are playing a Terra-based deck, try to make sure you have some resource cards. If you don't, use that free mulligan. Figure out who goes first. You can roll a die or flip a coin. Whoever goes first can play a resource from their hand to their ignition zone. The card is then turned to its side and placed in the reserve zone. You now have 1 Terra to play Terra cards with. If you want to play a Terra character, place it in your ignition zone. Move over resources to your expended zone that generate Terra at least equal to the card's Terra cost. After paying the card's Terra costs, if your opponent has no action, you then place the character in your active zone. Epic characters work almost the same, but there's a condition to pay instead of a Terra cost to play them. Remember, you can only play 1 epic character per turn. When you have a character in your active zone, you can use it to attack your opponent. This is called an encounter, and is done by placing the character in the encounter zone. Characters attack 1 at a time, and only once a turn. If your opponent has characters of their own, they can block your attacking character. The characters then deal damage to one another based on their combat stat. If there is no blocking character, then the damage is dealt to the opponent's deck. Each point of damage moves a card from the top of their deck to their void. After all encounters are declared, make sure to discard down to at least 8 cards in your hand. Then, check for end of turn abilities and remove all the damage from your character and architect cards. Now your opponent takes their turn, and they get to draw a card from their deck. You don't lose for having 0 cards left in your deck. It's when you cannot take damage or draw any more cards. That was a good overview of the game, wasn't it? Want me to keep teaching you? Don't worry, this is just the first video. I'll make you the best player, okay? See you next time!